I think like when you pregnancy, like mother emotional would go to their kids. So I would make sure like I always stay positive. I always stay happy. I'm not too stressed every time when I'm pregnant, and when I works until I deliver the baby. Hi, welcome to Patta Empires. My name is Patta. I'm the immigrant, a restaurant owner, a mother, wife, and the empress. I didn't always feel this way. I was so lost in the past. This podcast will show you how I built and continue to build my empires. If you ever feel lost but you know you meant for more, I'm here to show you the outlook and skill for you to build your own empires. Yeah, I want to have 4. I want to have another 4 babies. And babies, let's talk about babies.
Oh, I love babies. How have your pregnancies been?
Great. So I basically like, so if you think I'm a white person, but I'm very scared to be hurt. So for me, people say like delivering the baby is like the most painful things in life. And I always like, on my first baby, I always like, are you really? I don't know if I can go through the baby. So when people was asking me, like when you go to the doctor and they're gonna ask you, do you need, what do you call it? The things that you put in the back?
Epidural?
Yeah, they're gonna ask you like epidural. Say it one more time.
Epidural?
Epidural. So they asked me if I want that or not. So I was like, yes, I do. Anything that I like, first thing when I know that I'm pregnant and see doctor was like, I'm scared to be hurt and I could die. So make sure I'm not hurt. So the first one was a little bit rough, but I don't have, like, every time when I have a contractions, just a tiny bit contractions, I already go to the hospital. So I never have, for pregnancy, I never experience real contraction. Because, like, you know how you go to the doctor, they're going to ask from 1 to 10, how do you feel? But you don't ask me how to feel. Even though I'm not bullshit, I'm going to, if I feel 2, I tell you 8. And that's not okay. Let's don't count that to a bullshit part of me. I'm just scared.
You want to be comfortable.
Yeah. So by the time I got the medicines, epidurals in my back, I'm not that hurt. So my pregnancy been great. Every time when I have baby, I could do normal things. Especially when I have baby, I will make sure that mentally, I will more careful on not to be upset. I will be happy all the time. I will make sure from happy to happier. I will make sure from a positive to more positive. Because I think those very affects my kid, and you see my kid why happy. Like, they all happy because I think like when you pregnancy, like mother emotional would go to their kids. So I would make sure like I always stay positive. I always stay happy. I'm not too stressed every time when I'm pregnant. And when I works until I deliver the baby. So for me, on my first 2 times after deliver the baby, my mom would come help me and I have to stay home. I honestly have a rough time.
Is that Thai tradition for the mother to come?
It's Asian traditionals. Like, honestly, like, we believe that you need to, it's basically sleep on fires for a month. So in 1 month, you can wash your hair. I feel like that's stupid.
But it's kind of a blessing too, though, because that's not traditional in America. And I remember being so exhausted after my last 2, and just to have somebody there. It could be hard having somebody in your house, but having somebody make you your food and be there through all the little things.
So yeah, in our cultures, you have like, when after you deliver the baby, or you have to stay in the hot room for over 30 days, that all you do is just rest and breastfeed and eat what they make you to eat to produce enough breast milk for the baby. But because I'm here, it's not okay. It's not very convenient for me to do that much. So what happened is I always let them, like I always do what I could do. Like if you make me not to wash my hair for 30 days, that drive me nuts.
Yeah, me too. You're
So
so independent.
So I would put my happiness at first place. I would do what make me feel better now. But my mom will be like, "You're gonna feel really great when you get old. You will get cold so quick and stuff like that." And I get it. Like you know how long time ago we don't have nowadays medical like medical stuff. So it could be a different treatments, but I would follow her what I could do. I would eat everything that she make me. It doesn't matter if I like it or not like it. I have to eat everything. But I would like, let me take a bath. Let me wash my hair. And so, but when I stay home, I feel like emotional. Like on my second baby, I feel like I cry for stupid reasons. But I fight with Kim a lot. And but then on my third and my fourth, on my third, I work until I deliver the baby, and then after I deliver the baby for a week, I came back to work, and I don't have any emotional attacks. Like I could do everything normal. I got to meet people. I'm happy, and people was like, "You crazy? You come back to work right away?" I was like, "That's how I heal my mother's emotional problem." So let me do the works, and on my fourth baby is when when COVID hits, right? So those situations it's like I can't afford to close the door. So I went deliver the baby 2 days, and then after that I opened the restaurant. Like I and Kim work in the kitchen right away, and people always think that I'm strong. I'm not like strong that I could do anything. It's just like I feel like for me to balance myself of being a mother is to work and meet other people. Sometimes I know sometimes like people are. I feel like sometimes I mean I'm not saying like a mother out there who stay home mom is bad. I mean you got to be proud of yourself though. If you can be stay home mom, you'll win. I was so crazy. I can't be a stay home mom. I got to work. So that's why I learned how to like balancing myself by I work, and then when it's after work, when it's time for me to go home, I shut everything down. Whatever happened in works, it really doesn't matter anymore. I pay my full attention to my kids. So I feel like if I only have I'm not only have a couple hour because I with like as soon as I get home, I with them all the time and I sleep with them. So I have from 10 hour, but maybe 8 hour we were sleeping, right? But like those 2 hours that we spend time together while we awake was like super quality times instead of I be with them all day, but I do my works, talk to other people, and leave them hang around by themselves. So I mean that's my definition of mothers.
I love that. Have you had to make any accommodations for them, being at the restaurant and whatnot? During COVID, didn't you guys set up a play structure at one point for them?
Yeah, so no, that COVID was crazy. It's not me. So what happened is like everything got shut down, including a bit, like not a beach, a beach. So they can't even go to the beach. They can't even go to a park. All the playground has to turn off. All the park had to shut down. So back then, Casey watched my kids. I'm so grateful to have Casey and her mom watching my kid, and I and Kim can cook and open the restaurant. So what happened is the kid can't even go to daycare, and they hang at home. And then when Casey take them for a walk by the street, every day people would turn the window down and scream at her. Like
what?
No, seriously, they would be like yelling at Casey, like, "You take the kids in risk, they're gonna get the COVID." And so I told her, like, tell them it's not your problem. But back then it's very people very sensitive with the COVID. We don't have the real information. We don't know what really gonna be, if you're gonna die or not die or whatever. So Casey, like I was like, okay, if it's gonna be a lot of problem, I would decide to have. So Kim, we went to Costco and we buy like $1,000 from using the money that they give you.
Stimulus?
Exactly. So when we get that deposit, is they pay what $300 per $600 per person. So I have 4 kids. So those money would go to their pay structures. So we buy their pay structure and then we put a chair, everything together, and we put them in the restaurant. So then they can have their own playgrounds without going out, and then Casey won't get people yell at her and stuff like that.
And your kids still get to play.
And the kids still get the pay. The customer get entertainment by watching them on the window. So people like very entertaining. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Patta's Empires. I hope you find it beneficial. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the next episodes. And stay in touch with Patta's Empire in other platforms. Don't forget, stay humble, stay hungry.